Hello musicians, I'm Mr. Bizey and we're talking how to play the viola today. If you're at this point, you've probably watched my video on how to hold the viola and then gone through the 2 violin lessons of how to hold the bow and how to rosin the bow. Today we're going to talk about actually playing the instrument. Now, there's going to be another video about tuning it. We'll get to that. It's a very important thing, but today we're going to talk about how to play the instrument itself. So today, we're going to be putting the bow on the string. That's the fun part, right? If you are a musician who's just starting to learn, you're like, oh, I can't wait to do this. Now, hopefully you've done this in class already or with your private teacher. But we're going to go over some of the basic things on this again. Now, if you remember, we put our instrument 45-degree angle between the front of your neck and the side of your neck. That end pin goes right there. Get your chin right on the chin rest. You should be able to hold up the instrument without your left hand. Left hand moves and fingers. It does not hold up the instrument. Take your bow. Got a good bow grip. Bent thumb. Middle finger right across from thumb. Bent pinky. Remember, a nice curled bent pinky like that. And you place the bow on the string. You need to keep the bow between the bridge and the fingerboard. It should not go up here on the fingerboard. And you don't want to get here. You get really weird sounds. I'm not going to play that for you because I've had enough kids play that for me in class. I don't need to hear it, nor do you need to hear it. So we're going to do a basic A major scale. And for this D major scale, I'm going to show you the basic fingerings. Now, many of you may have gotten tapes. Maybe your teacher's putting tapes on your instrument. If they haven't, and you're brand new and first learning, you probably want to get tapes on there. Tapes just are little things that go across on the fingerboard to help remind you where to put your fingers. So unlike many other wind instruments, like a clarinet or a flute, where you place your finger directly on a key, here I can put down my first finger here, right? But I can put it here and here and here and here, and I'm gonna get all sorts of different notes. And it's not just putting down my first finger, right? It has to be in a specific spot. And part of this as a string player is you develop an ear, meaning you can hear it really well, listen to it, and be able to adjust it and know where that's supposed to be. So the basic finger pattern we're doing today is first finger, second finger. There should be a space between first and second finger right here. One day you'll learn that you can put your second finger back here and there's not a space. And you put your third finger right next to your second finger. This is called a half step right here. That is important. And so the half steps when you have 2 fingers next to each other, 2 notes next to each other. In the basic westernized scale, it means that there's no note between those 2 notes. Whereas when I have a whole step, like I do between my first and second finger, there can be a note between those 2. So we're going to do that finger pattern on the D string and the A string. We do have 4 strings on the viola, the C, the G, the D, and the A. So we're going to be on the D and A strings. Most teachers do D major to begin with. It's an easy finger pattern, and this D major scale works well on the violin, viola, and cello for just beginning learning. So let's go ahead and we're going to try this D major scale. So we're going to take our bow again. We set our instrument correct, right? Set our bow grip. Put our bow down on the D string, okay? We draw long bows. I'm just going to demonstrate the bowing. We draw long bows, trying to keep that bow straight. You can watch your bow to make sure it's staying straight as you go. Mine should be looking fairly straight. Might be a little wobbly, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to do long bows, and we're going to start with the D, go up to D on top, third finger on A string, and back down to that open D. So we have D, put down our first finger for E, put down our second finger. Remember, there's a space here for F sharp. Third finger goes right next to it for G. Then we go to open A. First finger down on that for B. Second finger for C sharp. Remember, there's a space. Then we have this half step for C sharp to D. And for the scale, we go back down to C sharp, to B, to A, to G, to F sharp, to E, to D. Now, it's really important to keep your bow arm, or not your bow arm necessarily, but your bow going straight. And a really good way to do that is you use this part of your arm for just the beginning of the bow, from the frog, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of the bow. After that, the rest of your arm and your wrist and fingers take over. And so a really good way to practice this is if you stand in a doorway, you can have that upper arm, your elbow, basically hits the doorway, and then this this part of the arm can't move anymore, and you just keep the rest of your arm moving, and you work on keeping that bow straight. And you can do that. You can just do that by doing open strings and watching your bow. Now, if you just watch your bow here, for example, if I try to use my arm, my upper arm more than that, it'll go like this. Watch. You see how the bow went right up the fingerboard, and hear how the sound went out? It wasn't as good. Whereas if I keep it nice and straight, it sounds really good, and it works well for a good tone on that. So that's a really good exercise that you can use to work on your bow arm. So many kids especially don't realize this. They do a lot of left hand work and everything. Your bow hand is just important. Do your right hand work as well. Get a straight bow, get a really good bow grip, and you'll be able to play really good things. Because there's a lot of work you do with your left hand to begin with, to just get your fingers going in the right spot and all that. But if you are, if you're just concentrating on that, and then all of a sudden one day, let's do spiccato, if you don't have this bow grip, you're not going to be able to do spiccato or other bow styles that are out there. So it's a really good idea that you work on your bow grip really well as your left hand. It's all important. So thank you for joining me here. Our next video will be about tuning the viola, so you can join me on that, because everybody should learn how to tune their own instrument, just not rely on the teacher. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your playing.